a workflow I've been developing. What it enables me to do is build these 3D printed ceramic and plastic structures without support. Rather than building the object and slicing it, I'm creating the G-code in Blender. In addition to that, what I'm doing is I'm stacking multiple spiralized contours on top of each other. And because I'm building them in Blender, I can warp them in Blender as well. So if you see here where this foot meets the base of the bowl, it's been twisted round slightly, so the pattern pulls round with the shape of the foot. And because it's printed upside down, there's no support needed. It means I can build more complex shapes with a spiralized contour than you can normally do. And I can be much more intentional about how each part gets put together. I'm going to be using a new tool that I've been developing, G-code Builder, based on a curve profile. This means I can build basic shape really fast and it creates a nice even geometry across the curve. I've got this part folder up here, which is the curve, the G-code and the wrapper. The wrapper is a surface, then the G-code is the toolpath that I'm creating, and then the curve, at the moment, just a single line. First of all, I'm going to tab into the edit mode on the curve. And what this new tool means is I can actually drag out the curve and it automatically builds both the wrapper and the G-code for me. So when I want to form extra stuff on it later, I've already got everything ready for me to build. Building out more and more curves, I can keep moving around the profile without having to rebuild my G-code each time, which is the most time-consuming part of my workflow before. But now I can even things out, and you can change the handle type. So if I change that to free, I can then start moving that around. So I can create quite nice spiralized contours. Just going to create a simple bowl shape, roughly how I want it. And it's pretty fast. It's quite a nice way of creating the G-code. But now I want to create some feet for it. Duplicate that collection. Now, select everything. I want to create some feet for it. Make them handle type automatic for now. I'll create some little feet, maybe about that big. So I created one of my foot items. Select the collection and move it over to where I want my foot to be. Because I've got the shape roughly how I want it now, I want to use this wrapper to mold it a little bit more detail. So I'm going to apply the modifiers on this wrapper. Tab into edit mode, switch over to weight paint. What I'm going to do is just weight paint the wrapper. So now I've got my wrapper. I'm going to find my G-code and I'm going to make sure that my surface deform modifier, I'm going to unbind it, bind it to my wrapper, select everything again, I'm going to rotate, move it into the correct location. So now I've got one foot where I want it, but it's a little bit boring. So this foot now is not straight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my wrapper, I'm going to do two things. Add a deform shrink wrap, select group, which is the vertex group I created when I did the weight painting earlier. Select the target as the wrapper of the bowl. Let me show you them on their own. Select both the wrappers, take the shrink wrap off, that's what it's like. But because I've graded the shrink wrap up the mesh, it pulls it down nicely. But now I can go and edit my wrapper. If I switch on, I can start to edit my wrapper like this and pull it round and move my geometry. So now I've bent my foot round to be flat and it now matches the position. Actually, I think it's a little bit tight. So I'm going to use the offset just to bring it up a little bit, something like that. So now I've got one foot, and after I've got one foot, I can duplicate and then switch, rotate around 3D cursor, RZ 120, duplicate, RZ 120, and there I've got 3 feet all resting on the bowl. So I'll end up with a bowl looking something like this. It's really fast to create multiple parts that fit together really nicely using this. One thing that's useful to see now is like, how are they getting stretched? Are they being stretched too much? I think you can tell now. When I switch over to viewport shading, I've got a shader that shows me how thick the layer lines are in proportion to the rest of the model. And you can see here, the bowl has got very even layer lines across the whole thing, but each of the feet is very stretched, right? Rotate again back. These layer lines look pretty good. It's a bit stretched at the bottom. hide the solidify, and I'll hide my wrapper temporarily. I think that looks okay. So to create a bowl, just by adding 3 extra components to each one, I can create these non-planar layer lines really fast, and I can use my layer thickness preview to warn me of any areas that might be too thick. So when I want to print it, I want to select all these, duplicate, new collection, then I'm going to go and find collection 7. I'm going to hide my previous one. So now I've got everything I want. First of all, objects, convert to mesh. Now all the ones I'm working on are mesh objects. I can just select all 3 of these. GZ, just bring it down a little bit. And that's how I created this bowl. It didn't take me very long at all. So I've already printed one of these in ceramic. I want to try a plastic one as well. A few bits that make this a little bit more challenging. If I go to my asset browser, I'll bring in my nozzle. This is just a nozzle I use to preview whether there's clearance, because if moving in the Z direction, sometimes the nozzle might clash with the print. This is more of a problem with plastic than it is with ceramic, mainly because the part cooling fans, the main thing that blocks the clearance of the tool head is the part cooling fan, which I've highlighted there. Basically, I can't go up at any steeper than that angle, really. I can do small up and down movements like that, up to 5 mm can be at that angle, but any large ones across the entire print need to be at this angle here or here. And that's a little bit more difficult because on the A1 Mini, which I usually use, that angle's different between the front and the back. Just got a H2S, and what I realized, the H2S part cooling fan, Bamboo Labs have changed the design slightly, so now the clearance is the same at the front and the back because they've cut away this portion of the part cooling fan. So this means I can use the same clearance angle both forwards and backwards and left and right, which is very nice. So thank you Bamboo Labs for improving that design. I've set this layer height at 0.8 mm, and I'm going to print this with a high flow rate 0.8 nozzle. Let's first build the bowl shape. Select the curve, bring it in, rotate it round. That should be closer to vertical at the beginning. And I also want to bring it in so there's no hole in the middle. Bring it in, something like that. That should fill in nicely, that hole. Bring back the tool head. I've got to be a little bit more careful where I'm going to draw the feet. I'm going to finish this bowl and then I'm going to bring the tool head back down. But I can't bring it back down to there because it's going to clash. I'll leave the tool head there just to remind me where I can bring it to. So I'm going to duplicate that collection, GZ, bring it up. Now I'm going to create the feet out of this duplicate collection. Maybe keep it simple. Bring it in a bit. Okay, that looks quite nice. I've hidden most of the components I can see, so I can move it down to there before it's clashing. I'm going to duplicate this collection and hide that one, so if I need to change it later I can go back and use the original. Apply the modifiers to the wrapper, so it's now a physical object. Isolate, switch to weight paint again, and weight paint up that wrapper. And object mode, surface deform is not applied yet, and it's wrapper 4, which is correct. Bind it together, go back to the shrink wrap, and shrink wrap it back down. So now I need to switch the solidify off before I bring the offset up, so I know exactly the place of the tool head. This looks about right actually, maybe a little bit more. Where's my wrapper? This wrapper. Now the shrink wrap has stretched the G-code a little bit long now, but we can adjust that. What I want to do is take the shrink wrapper, tab into edit mode, select that top layer. Sharp is probably useful for this. I'm going to move it first, then I'm going to select that line and I'm going to rotate that using smooth fall off. So just pulling it up round to create a little leg. 3D cursor. Duplicate RZ120. I've got my 3 feet. Is there enough clearance for me to print that foot without clashing into the one next to it? I don't think there is, because I haven't modelled the gantry. Let's go and look at the gantry. 2.5 mm clearance between the belt and the nozzle. How far back the belt is from the tool head? 40 mm. So let me quickly model that. GZ25. This part's just representing the belt, which is the lowest part of the gantry. Does that clash with the rest of the print? Let's take all 3 of these. Cursor to selected. If I offset them like this, now let's think what order I can print. If I print 1, 2, 3, my gantry is not going to crash into this first one. After it's printed that first one, it's going to move back to there. That's clashing slightly. So here, there's a clash because this one's already been printed. So for this to work, I've got to reduce the size of the base. Where's my wrapper? My wrapper's there. They're all linked to the wrapper still. Tab into edit mode on the wrapper. Median point, proportional editing on. Bring that in a bit. May as well bring that out a bit while I'm at it as well. Are they clear? Now I've smoothed them. Most extreme point is this, and there's plenty of room between those two now. Check the line thicknesses now. I've stretched these. 1.2 is a little bit overly stretched, so let's go back the wrapper. Select both of those. Let's bring it in a little bit to bring it out. That's actually a nicer shape as well. A little high still. And press that in a little bit. I'll take that layer there. Bring that up a bit. Now this is the darkest patch. These color grading, what that is doing is it's marking out which thickest layer lines. So all this part here has the thickest layer line of this model. Generally you can't print much thicker than the width of the tool head without it becoming very chaotic and not printing smoothly. So I'm thinking this is going to be pretty much okay. Let's try and print. So this new tool I've made for building G-code based on this curve profile. The tool itself is just for creating the profile. For stacking multiple parts on top of each other and exporting them together, that's a little bit more tricky, but the cup video I did last week explains how you can do that. So using this curve-driven part and a stacked spiralized contour is how I've created this little bowl, and same for this plastic one. All my tools and tutorials are available on my Patreon.